Welcome everybody to the first annual Chrysler 200 Laser Classic here at the Big Apple, New York, New York, right in the harbor. You're going to see it all today. Boat racing, scenery, the Big Apple, where it's all happening. The action is both on the land and on the water today at the Chrysler Laser 200 Classic. Here we are at the Big Apple, Alan Arneson, who has become the leading developer in offshore powerboat racing in the space of the past 2 years, and the streak goes on and on and on. How many races now is it that Arneson drives are undefeated in open class?
I think it's either 11 out of 12 or 10 out of 11 now.
Starting to lose count.
Yeah.
What do you think about today's situation?
I think it's going to be kind of a problem of missing all the debris. The water looks good as far as the seas are concerned, but I understand there's a lot of debris floating out there, and I think it's maybe who can change the props the fastest is going to win.
Our Arneson drives quicker to change props than a Merc Cruiser.
No, you all have to jump in the water, so it's 6 of one, half dozen the other there, really. Best thing is to not have to change them.
Okay, we finally found the equalizer here. Debris, whether it's a surfacing drive or a standard stern drive, seems to be a common denominator. What do you think about next year?
Next year is going to be exciting. As you know, we have a big 4-engine boat with 2 drives, and I think that it's going to, other people are thinking about getting them. I think it's going to make the sport a lot safer, really do.
Well, Howard, you've made the sport a lot faster and a lot more exciting, and certainly as safe as you possibly can, and we certainly wish you the best of luck next year and today as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're here with Tony Garcia, the Arneson Special. Every race is different this year. We've seen 4-engine boats, we've seen calm water, lake races. What do you think about this one?
This is really interesting. I think the sea conditions out there today are 1 to 2, but the debris is 8 to 10. So we're all kidding about it. Where our biggest concern is the debris in the water. And aside from that, it should be a very good race. Well, how much more exciting can you get running up the East River in New York with all these people and bridges and course? It should be also confusing, I guess, but it should be a very good race. And we're really looking forward to it. We're in contention now for US 1. This is a very important race. I was wondering if Keith and I should wear wetsuits, having to change props a lot, but we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, you won the last race at Northport. Do you think the boat's are ready for today?
Boat's ready, no question about it. It's been running well. It was a shame to have lost Saugatuck for a minor hydraulic pressure, but it's the way it went. At any rate, we got to be pleased. We've won 7 out of the last 8 starts that we've been in, so what more could you want?
Not a whole lot more, I guess. There's no point in being greedy at this point. Okay, well, good luck here in the Big Apple today.
Great, thank you.
Okay, Luke Cooper, second race in New York Harbor this year. You won the first one. How do you feel about today?
Well, I would like to win this one.
Boat all right?
Yeah, we ran in St. Augustine over the weekend. Seems to be running good.
What do you think of this course?
It's going to be a tricky course, tight course. Interesting race.
From Austria to New York, by way of the offshore circle, or circuit, Franz Kneissl, skier, snow skier, and offshore racer. Where you been for the last few races?
Training. A lot of training with a new boat. As you know, we just bought the new Velocity, and we had at the beginning some balance problems. So we needed training, and again training, and today we are here, and I'm looking very much forward to this race.
I heard the word training at least 6 times in that statement. You're obviously prepared from a physical standpoint. How about the boat? Is she running as good as she did before?
The boat runs excellent. I'm very happy with the engines. I finally found how to tune the engines right and how to put the boat in the right attitude, even when we have rough water.
Well, Franz, you've had experience in other world-class sports as well as offshore racing. Certainly preparation, is the key.
Absolutely. Without preparation, you never will be successful in no sport whatsoever. If you want to be successful, first of all, your body must be healthy and your mind must be clear and clean. And the next step is, again, the training.
Okay. And then first-class equipment.
And the equipment, of course, plays a major role. In our class, not that major role because everything looks pretty much the same. We are fighting with the same bullets.
Just like skiing.
Just like skiing, a little bit rougher.
Okay, advocating the part of the sport that's man against man is Franz Kneissl. Best of luck today, Franz.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, we finally have the start of the Chrysler Laser 200 Classic, and here it is. Let me point out that this start has been delayed for 2.5 hours in a medley of confusion unparalleled in anything I've seen in offshore racing. And as an APBA member, I am both ashamed and embarrassed. But right now, let's go for some racing. Flapjack makes a quick move. Arneson out of the chute, but it was certainly Flapjack who had the early speed. And both of them are pulling away from Kamen. Now we've got an instant drag race. Arneson and Flapjack. The Flapjack, of course, is a express hull. Arneson is a Cougar. Both of them sporting, I believe, Arneson drives. And once again, the early dominance is the Arneson-powered Cat craft. I expect at any minute to see Popeyes come in here with those whopping 4 engines. Right now, we don't have any visual contact with her, but she certainly has the speed advantage if she needs it. But right now, of course, the story is Howard Quam in his Flapjack number 45 and doing a heck of a job. Going by the Statue of Liberty, nothing could be more majestic than that. You can see in the background the Statue of Liberty and the Arneson Special doing some early navigating, trying to cut down the angles and make the most out of the course. Tremendous amount of spectator boats out here. Coast Guard patrol. Very, very difficult race to get organized, but now that it is, you see the Arneson making a move on the inside on the Flapjack, which is slowing down. And now Arneson is taking off like a shot. Oh, just like that, we have a new leader again, the Arneson Special. And Howard Arneson has been doing a tremendous job of keeping his equipment competitive. Of course, Tony Garcia, Keith Hazel have done a masterful job of helming this boat this year, and they both deserve a hearty pat on the back. They've won something like 7 of the last 8 races that they have entered, they being specifically Tony Garcia. And Keith Hazel, of course, jumped ship from Jerry Jacoby's Ajax Hawk, and has done a wonderful job for Tony since Tony lost his seat in the Michelob boat. What we're doing here is weaving back and forth between tankers and tugboats, and I just can't believe it. Tremendous amount of obstacles here on this course early in the race. But the race right now belongs to the Arneson. Right now in second place, Flapjack came in third place. And back there I see the Michelob light boat as well. Do not see the Popeyes Pepsi Challenger anywhere. I hope they knew that there was going to be a race start. We're coming up to the Verrazano Bridge. that point, we'll begin to see true ocean conditions. But as the obstacles decrease, the seas will now become a factor, and the water will get rougher. We'll start to hit a roller in here somewhere, a little bit of a groundswell. You begin to see the boat begin to reach as it gets into the swells. And at that point, the rough water characteristics of the boat will then take account. Okay, and Michelob Light comes out of nowhere, and here we have another race for second place. The Flapjack and the Michelob Light. What a drag race this has been. We haven't gone 10 miles, and there have been more shots at the lead than you can shake a stick at. Here's our first checkpoint. Really a battle royal out here, with no one taking the clear speed lead except perhaps the Artisan Special, and he's only got about an 8-boat length lead right now. We wondered early on where Popeyes was. Well, here he is. He's in 5th place right now in the first straightaway, going down to the sea leg, running very conservative speed right now. I would say, considering we have a tailwind, that he's running in the low 80s with Betty Cook in the Kama, but he seems to be content to let the Arneson and the Michelob and the Flapjack and the Fava set the early pace. They are not by any means way out in front of us. We are about an 1/8 of a mile behind them at this point. But, and maybe that's part of the strategy. The Popeyes boat has been absolute. There he goes. There he goes. Okay. He just put the pedal down and just dusted off the Kama like it wasn't there. It seems like he's content to let the other guys find the way around the course. He has broken in his first 2 races during the race after taking substantial leads. So his strategy today may be to just lay back until he needs the speed and then use it sparingly. When you have as much speed as this Popeyes Pepsi Challenger has to offer, there's no need in just using it all at the beginning, that's for sure. And certainly with the dominance that he has in there, he can catch anybody with a minimum amount of effort. That's Alvin Copeland, of course, and Bill Saroy, and they are some team. The Popeyes famous fried chicken and biscuits craft, the only one of its kind so far, the 4-engine 50-foot Cougar Cat. Flying Butch Ryan doing it again in the Frostways sponsored Express. She is an Express. He's all by himself, and we haven't gotten to the Verrazano Bridge yet. While we were out trying to figure out what the open class was doing, Butch Ryan was taking care of business back here in the harbor, as he usually does. APBA world record holder, the 2nd fastest boat in all of offshore racing history. Express. Faster than every other open boat except the Fava Shoes Cat, and unofficially, of course, in our book, that beautiful Popeyes Pepsi Challenger. But certainly the fastest production boat in the world, S30 Express, is all by himself. We cannot see the 2nd place boat in class, and I don't think their navigator can either. Okay. Also, Popeyes is coming back into the harbor in 1st place, so he's taking the lead smartly. Back to the sport class, though. Butch Ryan is all alone with that awesome speed he displays. When he dials up that turbo boost, look out, mama, that's all she wrote. What a smooth ride they're getting here at the mouth of the harbor. As usual, we have calm water. It was thought that in the fall in the Atlantic Ocean in New York Harbor, you almost could not have a calm day. Well, we've basically got it. Coming right along the spectator fleet. Smart move. He's using the spectator fleet almost as a navigation aid. And they're pointing. Now, if they have the same problem the open boats had, it's anybody's boat race. Here's the checkpoint. We just flew by a checkpoint, and unfortunately between the express boat and that checkpoint there was a gigantic seagoing tug, and I don't know if they could see the checkpoint when they went by it. But they passed it on the wrong side, I believe, according to the chart that I have, which may or may not be right. I certainly hope that wasn't the case. they have such a tremendous lead. We spoke to Butch earlier in the day about the racing conditions here, and he had quite a bit to say about the debris in the harbor. I don't think he realized how much traffic there would be either. Here in the Big Apple, plenty of driftwood. What do you think?
I think that'd be the key today, is just to watch, watch where you're going. Because there's so much stuff out there, refrigerators and tires and telephone poles and everything else. And I know I've talked to 4 or 5 guys, and they're all carrying spare wheels and spare parts and everything they put on it that they plan on knocking off.
Is the boat all repaired from the?
Yeah, no problem. It's back in shape.
Okay. Just one other question. How are you doing on the points list right now?
Still number 1.
Okay, and how many more do you need to wrap it up?
I can't wrap it up today unless power play breaks. Danny's right behind us, and we got about 150 point lead on him, which is 150 points is nothing when you get 400 for first place. So the way it looks, we have to go to California.
Okay, just like everybody else, it looks like you're supposed to be out there in California, and today's the Big Apple Chrysler special. We wish you the best of luck. You've been doing a fine job so far. Sorry about Northport.
Part of the game.
But we'll see you later, Butch, in the winner's circle. Second place in sport class, as we call it, as we see it, is the Gallo Wine, Lou Cooper. Expertly throttled by Hurley Stepp, who is, by the way, Steve Stepp's cousin, not his son. But in any event, the Gallo Wine is running very strongly, but still is not a serious challenge to the Express. Very few boats are. We're clocking, interestingly enough, through here right now on our airspeed indicator about 15 miles an hour faster for the sport boats than we did for the open boats earlier on. Of course, they were pretty well lost. Gallo has got the new single exhaust the KS&W has been working on, where they bring the pipes together into one exhaust pipe in the rear, and supposedly it gives a 10 horsepower boost over the twin pipes. Exhaust engineering has always been a mystery to me in 4-cycle. In 2-cycle, back pressure, of course, is good for acceleration, and harmonics are necessary for top end, but in 4-cycle, it's any little tricks, spaghetti headers, you name it. But right here, it's a single, simple system that's being tried right now. Gallo has seemed to have scrubbed some speed out here. Just like the open fleet now, there seems to be some confusion as to where that next checkpoint is. We're consistently passing sea buoys and other navigational aids. But I'll be curious to find out if maybe this fleet can find the checkpoint that eluded the open fleet. Okay, Seahawk. And as you can see, Seahawk is following pretty closely in the wake of Gallo Wine. Gallo Wine is following pretty closely in the wake of Express. Express is about 2 to 3 miles ahead of us right here. I'd say Gallo Wine's about a half mile ahead of us. The big question out here today has been not necessarily how fast you're going, but where you're going. There is a checkpoint out here, checkpoint number 3 on my chart, that I haven't seen yet today, and nobody, according to my chart, has been anywhere near it, either open or sport class. Right now, we are paralleling the course that the open boats basically ran coming down here. I sincerely hope that we don't miss it all the way through the day. Right now, we've got Seahawk, S17, Willie and Gus Falcone. That beautifully prepared by KS&W Seahawk V-bottom. Running a very respectable speed right now, close to 90, and good 2 to 3 foot seas. You see her getting airborne. They're pushing her for all she's worth. Running third place to a cat. The boat again has the new KS&W exhaust, single pipe exhaust. They've got every speed trick in the book in there, down to those aluminum Donovan block, small block engines. This navigation thing is really something. A long way from home with Gus Falcone. Here in the Big Apple Seahawk Racing Team. We're in the business end of the Seahawk sport boat. How's it look today, Gus?
Well, they say it's flat again. We're in a fight against the sea all the time, you know, but it doesn't matter. We just go out there and do our best, you know. Try to stay up with the cats, and then if it gets rough outside, then it'll be all water.
How do you like racing here in New York?
Well, the race looks pretty good now, you know. It's set up pretty nice, and it's okay.
You enjoy the river and then the ocean?
Yeah, we still haven't been out in the ocean, so, you know, we don't know how it is going in and out, so. But we like it. We like the race. It looks nice.
At the last race up here, Sal Magluta managed to find Coney Island. Are you going to avoid that today?
Maybe he'll be the other way around now. Maybe he'll go all the way down there now.
Shortcut home.
Yeah.
Well, good luck today. I think it's going to be rougher than you think.
Thank you.
And I hope it's not monkey see, monkey do. Right now, these guys are working awfully hard with that throttle to make that boat perform as well as possible. Let's hope they're going in the right direction. This is a very, very experienced team. Very experienced team. And if they can navigate properly, they have a very good shot today. Very proud of it. Probably the fastest V-bottom in the world. La Sassoon, Davey Gilmore, Jack Tate, and of course, Joey Ratner, owner-driver. There she is, your world kilo record holder at 100.127 miles per hour. You see it written on the side. And right now, she is way out in front in the modified class. They've had a series of freaky misfortunes this year. And right now they are navigating on exactly the same leg as everybody else has so far. Sport boats are way out in front of us, just barely visible in the distance, the third place sport boat Seahawk. Other than that, Sasson is way out in front of his modified class. Joey Ratner and Dave and Jack, of course, deserve a win. They've worked hard enough for it this year. The boat is carrying beautifully in these seas. We saw a minute ago the Seahawk boat run through these very same waters, and she was quite a bit airborne. These guys are just sitting there and letting her eat. Now they're starting to slow down and then speed up some. That may be the navigation problem that we've had so long here. There's also kind of an odd sound coming out of the engines. I hope they haven't set themselves up for bad luck again. La Sassoon, I love it. What's happening this year, guys?
Well, we're ready today to show you how this boat really runs. We're ready. We're going to make it happen.
Hey, reigning world champion, you guys have worked as hard this year as you ever have. You've got as good an act as you've ever had. It's about time. What's up, Dave?
Well, we discovered something else that we could break in the last race, Richie, which was propellers. We quite honestly feel we had that race won. We were cooling it, and I guess had some fatigue in the wheels that we weren't aware of, and that cost us another 400 points. But like Joey says, we've got 19 propellers on board and some extra engines, and we're just about ready to rebuild the boat out of there if that's what we got to do to win.
Okay. And that means work, and if there's any work involved, I know Jack gets involved then. Jack, how do you feel today?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be our day. We got the weather behind us. The river looks good. Evidently, they've swept everything. Our navigation is right on, so we're going to take a checker flag today.
Well, it's long overdue. Here is probably one of the top 3 boats in the class. Certainly the fastest boat in the class. It should be right up there in high points. Certainly a threat for the World Championship. My God, let's go for it, fellas.
Yeah, make it happen.
Thanks, Ricky.
Thanks.
Okay, with an opportunity to wrap up the national championship, running second right now, Bobby Shear Terror. One of the most exciting throttlemen in the sport, one of the most talented throttlemen in the sport. Says it all. Following in the trail of Lovett. Right now, he's let Lovett get about a quarter of a mile lead on him. The big question is, where are we going? Do we know where that checkpoint is? I hope this isn't Me Too navigation on everybody's part. I would really feel more secure if we saw the actual checkpoint. But in the meantime, running very strong second place, Sheer Terror. Interesting thing is that all the classes so far, Ocean and Bay, River and whatever, have been led by cats. First and second place at least, and well beyond that in the open class. Bobby said he would pace it today when we spoke to him earlier. We finally had a chance to talk to him up close and personal. Let's have a listen to what he had to say. We're in the Big Apple, where you got plenty of celebrities, but we got a rare opportunity here today. We're going to interview Bobby Shear Terra. Bobby, we've watched you race for the last 2 years. You're probably one of the most dramatic and talented throttlemen in the whole sport. Today you got driftwood. What do you think?
Well, we'll just have to straddle what we can. That's the nice thing about running a cat. You can just keep the pieces between the hulls and you're home free.
What do you think about the course?
It's going to be a little trickier, I think, than everybody thinks it is. The leg going out to Ambrose and the other buoy, I don't think it's going to be that bad. But coming in here, everything is so deceptive. It's going to be touchy.
How are you in the points race right now?
We're number 1 in the nation.
Have you got it sewed up?
No, Seahawks closing in on us. We've got a 375-point lead with 2 races to go. So this race here could decide it today.
Are you going to California?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so it's going to come right down to the wire. If you do win today and Seahawk breaks, then that will probably sew it up.
All we've got to do is, hopefully, is just finish one place in front of him, and then we would have it locked up.
Well, you've been very consistent all year, and certainly very fast all year. We've watched you play some great strategy games throughout the season. I don't think you've made a major mistake, or even a minor one I could think of this year. I don't know how you do it, but keep on doing it. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
If the checkpoint is not here, these guys have just given themselves number 1. I hope they're number 1. I don't know. I don't know where that checkpoint is. All right, Tim Chisuli and Miss Maxon here in the Big Apple, introducing an exciting new line of marine products, and they are called Ocean One, right, Tim?
Ocean One. It's an exciting new chemical that keeps you from working on your boat and keeps you in the water playing. It's a new polymer substance that keeps that shine for 3 years, guaranteed against chalking and fading.
Okay, and you can buy it at your local marine dealer, I'm sure.
As a matter of fact, I have the gentleman here who conceived the product, Mr. Gallup.
One is a silicone polymer. It's designed to prevent all oxidation and fading, and will leave a boat owner having to maintain his boat approximately twice a year as opposed to probably once every week.
Taking some of the elbow grease out of boating.
Yes, easier application, a longer, more durable finish. We warrant that.
You warrant that?
Yes, it's a 3-year warranty on the product as long as it's maintained in accordance with our directions.
Well, that sounds terrific. I know I spent many hours polishing and waxing boats of my own. From a race standpoint, what do you think of the course today, Tim?
Well, I'll tell you, the course is a little tricky. It seems to be whoever can survive the obstacles could win it. It is calm, a little calm for us again. You know, I just can't seem to get a rough one, but if we can just survive the obstacles, I think we'll do well today. The motors are fresh, brand new design in the rods and pistons, and we're ready to go.
Sunoco Express, M33. Right now, he's either in second place in M class, or he's out of the race entirely, looking for checkpoint number 3. Whatever, he's following Black Duck, which is not a bad idea. It's as good an idea as anything. And I understand the navigator in the boat that's ahead of him, the Miss Maxon in M class, is the best in the sport. So with a little luck, they're on course, in which case they've got themselves a nice second place position. I really feel sorry for the people that have run off down the Jersey Shore in search of that phantom checkpoint. Here's checkpoint 4, very definitely, the Ambrose light tower. I wish we could be more specific about positioning, but we're going onto the roughest leg right now, and we'll just try to report this race as if everybody that made the turn at the NY buoy had made the correct assumption. Okay. It looks like I see one of the open boats out of the race. They missed London, or Lucky Strike, I'm sorry. But right now we're in the roughest portion of the course, running into the wind, into the harbor from the Ambrose lightship. As you can see, these guys are getting a Cadillac-like ride. Some Dan Richards in the Sunoco Express. Back to life here at the Big Apple. What's the word?
Looks good. The water's going to be relatively calm today from what they said at the meeting this morning. The Coast Guard's been sweeping the rivers to get the debris out, and it should be a real fast race.
You going to stay on course today?
Yes, we hope to. We got somebody flying the course in a helicopter right now, so we don't make another mistake.
Okay. How's the boat running?
Very good. We're running about 86, 87, opened up, and it feels real strong.
We watched the tapes of the Benihana very closely. You ran a very good race, not quite on course, but a real strong race. It's starting to kick up out there. It's going to be not quite as rough as the Benihana, I don't think, but it'll be close.
Well, I like the rough water. Everybody says the cats can't run in rough water, but it just is not the case. And especially this Shadow can just do outrageous things when the water gets heavy, and I'll run with the best of them.
Yeah, well, we saw that at the Benihana, and I know a little about the boat, so I think you have a real good chance today. Wish you the best of luck. Go get them.
Thank you, Rich.
But that still doesn't answer the question, where is checkpoint 3? Black Duck, the streak goes on and on and on. I think you got the national championship sewed up right now. Is that right, Tom?
Yeah, we clinched that national point champion in Northport there, the last race we just come from. We're at 22 in points right now, and nobody can touch us right now.
Okay, that's a secure feeling. Here you are at the Big Apple, home waters. What do you think?
Well, it's one thing, it's the closest race. It's an hour for us, but And they're doing a real nice job here, considering the location, the traffic, and everything. And everybody's doing a real nice job. Our biggest concern is, and everybody else, the racers and everything, the amount of stuff that's in the water. And we're just hoping that everybody comes back safe.
Yeah, it seems that no matter how well you know the course, a piece of debris can stop anybody.
Yeah, obstacles are tough to see, especially a lot of this stuff 6, 8, and 10 inches under the water, and you can't really see it until you're on top of it, and 90% of the time it's too late.
You feel comfortable with the course? You know where all the markers are, and Ambrose Lightship and so on?
Yeah, well, as far as my situation is the boat, that's Pete's job, and he's been doing a very good job with that at all.
Okay. All season now you've been in the lead. It looks like you've got the national championships sewed up. The Worlds are coming up. Anything special for the World Championships?
No, we're going to go to California. We thought about it. We weren't going to go, but we've decided we're going to go to California, and then right after that, we're just going to stay with the same pattern we've stayed all year. I'm not going to make any changes the rest of this season.
Tom McCoury going to stay with a winning combination for the rest of the year and try to get that World Championship that they almost got last year. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Black Duck, Tom McCoury, Peter Akins, the Black Duck Cafe, Westport, Connecticut, #1 again, here in the Chrysler Laser 200. The question is, they made the turn at the NY buoy, which is where the checkpoint was supposed to be. They actually stopped to read the buoy. There was no boat there of any kind flying any kind of a checkpoint flag. For their sake and for everybody else's sake so far, I hope there was no checkpoint #3. But with a substantial lead, we see P1 Black Duck. We've got boats on the horizon of every different class coming from every different angle. They've been out trying to find checkpoint #3. It may be out here, maybe they found it, but we haven't seen it yet. The Duck, of course, is running these seas beautifully. You can see she's sitting in 3 to 4 foot. She's got a roll coming in off her port quarter. No problem at all. Boat is just smooth as silk in this stuff. Getting into some bigger waves here, a few tidal rollers, no problem. Right now we're making a beeline for the Ambrose Light Tower. And for the sake of a number of people who have turned the NY buoy, we've just been told on the radio now that checkpoint 3 has reported no boats passing it accurately. If this is where offshore racing has every boat disqualified for the first time in history, I'll be amazed. If it was supposed to be at the NY buoy, an orange and white buoy, it wasn't there. Sonny Reeser and Craig Maudsley and the Sunoco Express, unfortunately, is out of the race. We've just been told by the APBA ground race control that there is no boat at checkpoint 3, and therefore all of these boats are on the proper course. Bandit right now is in second place behind a Black Duck, which is rapidly disappearing over the horizon in these medium seas out here, but Bandit is in an uncontested second place, and that's not too bad. And that's a tribute to as much to smart navigating as anything else. Max and Pontiac, therefore, is now in the lead in modified class. I don't know who's leading sport at all. The open class leader is, of course, the Popeyes. Let's get back to this race before us. What you see is the Bandit. She's a triple engine tri-hull made by Triton Marine in California. 3 Mercury 2.4s. Extreme top speed. She holds the record, the APBA record for a single race set at Detroit this year, in which she averaged a shade over 80 miles an hour. And that makes her a pretty fast boat. We've seen some strange things happen with these hulls. At Saugatuck, they pushed this boat valiantly to try to catch the Black Duck. Were unable to do so, and in their racing effort, They went through some wild gyrations. Of course, Keith Sparks was at the throttle and not Craig Maudsley, and the boat was balanced in slightly differently because Craig is one heck of a big guy. Earlier today, we talked to Craig Maudsley, and we're glad he's back in the seat behind the wheel of the Triton, or in the throttle of the Triton Bandit 2. And let's see what he had to say.
Kept praying for 1 to 3 foot seas, and it looks like that's what it's going to be, according to the weather report.
Okay, this is your water then.
It looks great. Like anybody else, I guess, with all the cats and tri-hulls and things running now, everybody would like to have it a little bit calmer so they can all go fast and look better.
Okay, well, it's going to be common in the river, and the ocean can be the ocean. Tides change and wind changes.
Well, if that becomes the case, we're going to try to make up all the time we can on the calm stretches and slow down on the rough ones so we can finish.
That's the name of the game, consistency, isn't it?
It sure is.
Okay. Well, you've had an up and down season. You've set a record, and you're up there in the points race, but Black Duck managed to get that national championship. You've shown some incredible speed. Are you coming back next year with the same hull?
I think so. We're debating the whole thing, but as far as I know, we'll be back with the same hull, running the Mercury outboards, and just the same setup.
Coming into the harbor from out of nowhere came John Evans in the P-47 Dodgeland. I don't know where they were. They put on a tremendous burst of speed from out of somewhere and moved right into third place, and it looks like they're going to make a move in for second place as they enter the harbor. Again, his engines sound a little strange to me, the same way they sounded in Patchogue just a few weeks ago. But here's the ride difference between the two hulls. And the Dodgeland is beginning to lose their engines again. We got some drag race. We've got the Bandit, who's got speed to spare, but they're holding it back because of the water conditions, getting airborne. We've got the Dodgeland that's got an engine that's breaking up. This is boat racing at its best.
John Evans, Town and Country is now the Dodgeland. Dodge Daytona. How'd she look today?
Well, we had a little trouble this week, but I think we fixed everything. We had little oil leaks and stuff, but it's running pretty good.
It's the big time racing in the Big Apple. What do you think of the course?
I like the course. It's going to have some rough parts, some calm parts. The whole thing is watch out for logs.
Richie, the incision of the Dodgeland had 3 names now: Marlboro, Town and Country, and Dodgeland, and the boat's gotten faster each time.
Yeah, we've had our nickel and dime problems. We seem to hold together pretty well as far as the major parts, and the springs and the nuts and bolts hurt us. Little things.
You can hear again that strange breaking up that happened to the Dodgeland boat, then the Town and Country at the Patchogue race. But look at this nose-to-nose race here. Both boats hunting and searching and reaching for that extra little edge, that little mile an hour. Bandit trimming a little bit, pushing her just a little bit more. Doesn't want to let the Dodgeland by. Doesn't want to let him get away. Doesn't want to let him break contact. Dodgeland just maintaining whatever his plan was. As I said, he came up very fast, and now he seems content to run along next to the Bandit, but his engine does sound very, very strange. It's, of course, outboard versus inboard, and if the Dodgeland is an indication, the inboards have had their problems this year. The Black Duck in this class has been the consistent boat, and when that didn't work out, it was the Bandit. Outboards have dominated in the P class this year, and there's a rule change to come that may reinforce that position. But listen to that engine. That sounds like we're almost at the end of the string for Dodgeland. I don't know what it is, whatever problems they keep having with that boat, but it's about time that they found the answers. And now he's losing his power, and the Bandit pulls out smartly. And now he's getting his power back. And now we have some pleasure boats, some obstacles. But you can hear that on again, off again, on again, off again in those engines. And I just don't think that should be there. The incredible Dodgeland. John Emmons. All right, Bobby Shear. Unfortunately, he's in 4th place. He's right behind his nemesis Lovett. Oh la la, Sassoon. But because of the navigational problem out here, he's 4th in class. After running a fine speed out of the harbor, navigating basically properly, there just was no checkpoint at checkpoint 3. And here's one of the, whoa, look at his wake. What was that thing, says Bobby. That's a New York Harbor tugboat wake. That's what that is. You learn about them fast when you do your boating around here. Another boat that's a casualty of the checkpoints. Let me say that, to say just a couple of things. We're looking at a boat that's been penalized because of a checkpoint not being there. We saw Sheer Terror sitting out at the starting milling area at 15 minutes before the scheduled starting time this morning. That was 2 hours and actually 3 hours before his race actually got underway. That's really a shame. These guys came here to race, and in what has to be described as one of the most disorganized races in history, they wound up victimized not by their own failures, but by the failures of the race committee. And for that, on the part of the APBA, and as an APBA member, I feel somewhat appalled, angry, and a little bit ashamed. We've actually broken our arms. Our administration, that is, has broken its arm, patting itself on the back for being so professional, quote unquote, and for elevating racing to new lights. Here's one of the greatest sponsor opportunities we've ever had with Chrysler in the media capital of the world, and what do we do with it? It's really a pity. And before the leadership of our sport is ever given an opportunity to pat itself on the back again, it should be reminded in cold, stinging words of the abortion that this race has become. Still your leader in sport class, doing a fantastic job. He went on the search with no ending for checkpoint 3 himself, but he's recovered nicely and he's in the lead. I don't think he ever relinquished it. See the beautiful skyline of New York in the background, fitting the end of the subway express right there at the end of Manhattan Island, and this, of course, is the boat express. Butch, his main fear today was the driftwood. It's a cinch nobody in his class is going to catch him, and boy, does he have the speed. This is an example of what can be done with hard work and doing your homework. You can get a boat to perform consistently at top speed, race after race after race, and be able to lead and run at super high speeds. Unfortunately, Larry Smith and Outrageous being towed in here in the harbor. Another hard luck day for Larry. Butch Ryan's getting to be the tough act in offshore racing in the sport class. And although once again my loyalties have to be in the Willie Diaz El Boss camp, I can certainly admire and appreciate what it is that Butch Ryan has done, and I'm looking forward with great anticipation to the World Championships when he and Willie Diaz supposedly, hopefully, will go at it nose to nose. Because I think if any boat can give either one of these guys a race, it's each other. We're coming right up to the start-finish line now. Stiletto is dead in the water. And let's see. There's your checkered flag for Butch Ryan. So he is your winner in sport class again. He's done it. I don't think that the Power Play even ran the race. So there's your national Express, Butch Ryan. The checkered flag in Pro Stock, Black Duck. Congratulations, Tom McCoury. Pete Aiken, you did it again. Nice going, guys, because of perfect navigation. They took a chance. They made a turn where the turnboat was supposed to be. Since there was no turnboat, they won Pro Stock class. And they were just seconds behind Butch Ryan and the Express. In a drag race to the finish, Lovett takes the flag right over Cougar. First place, Lovett. Second place, Cougar. The guys in Cougar were doing everything they could right down to the wire. The guys in Lovett managed to pull it out. I think they deserved it. Congratulations, fellas. You finally did it. A black flag instead of a checkered flag. We've got the Popeyes Pepsi Challenger, your overall winner here in the open competition in a race that has been marred by many things, including a burnt boat. The reason for calling the race off was a fire in the harbor. We had a checkpoint that was completely missing. We had some tremendous driving done out here and some tremendous navigating. But there's your winner. She's finally got a rightful place in the powerboating world. Number one, the Popeyes Pepsi Challenger. Congratulations, Al Copeland. Congratulations, Billy Saroy, and the rest of the Popeyes crew. Working very hard going up the East River. Looking real good. There's only one problem. The race has been black flagged at the last checkpoint. And as far as they're concerned, this race is over. They did not see it at the flag at the checkpoint. They were a little too far off. So they're going to continue on up the river and I guess continue the final lap. They can't know that the winner is the Popeyes Pepsi Challenger. But from our vantage point, they're in second place, and that's not too bad. And it puts them ahead in the overall points lead, I believe. And that's also not too bad. Tony Garcia is still running. So perhaps, depending upon how Tony Garcia does today, we'll have a change in the point standings. But basically, here's your second place boat, Michelob Light, going by downtown Brooklyn. You can see how rough it gets in here with all these wakes. We're getting quite a bit of buffeting up here in the chopper. Sport fishermen and tugboats and you name it, we've got them out here. Boats cutting them off. It's having to pick his way carefully right now. They've reopened the river to harbor traffic. As I said, Michelob Light cannot know that this race has been called off. Hopefully they'll be spared the agony of having to run up and down the river one more time because it's really tricky in here right now. This river is like Times Square. Just like his sister ship, Michelob Light, they're trying to figure out what the story is in terms of checkpoints here. They don't realize it's been black flagged. We're looking at a checkboat that's actually driving away from them. They're trying to figure out where it's going. They're looking for a checkpoint, trying to navigate. The checkpoints are actually pulling it off the course before the boats are off the course. That doesn't seem fair. And not giving them any notice that they've been black flagged. And as has been typical of this race all the way along, they can't even call it off right. We're going by Coast Guard boats. There's no way to tell these poor guys that they don't have to go up the East River. The East River is absolutely bedlam right now. And if this boat is damaged or these guys are hurt because they have to run up the East River under these conditions, it'll be a terrible crime attributable directly to one of the most poorly handled races in history. Well, all right, that's it. Exciting, yes. Interesting, certainly. Competitive, yeah. Beautiful, no doubt about it. Beautiful weather. Great race, except it was a poorly run, very badly handled situation that's resulted in a lot of unnecessary grief for both the spectators and the competitors alike. And frankly, as I said about Bobby Shear, I really meant it for all the guys out in this race. You all deserve better than this. On behalf of Needle Nose Race Team, Pete Lewis, our still photographer, Walt Miston, who today proved once again that he is without a doubt the world's finest helicopter driver, helicopter pilot, our producer, director, and cameraman, Phil Lewis. This is Rich Lors, who, although I probably made a lot of enemies today, still wish you good and safe racing.